Kia ora folks, we got a lot on the go this week. We've got all these slabs to polish up. They need to go through the planer. We've got another 3 pallets broken up to make the next big panel. We've got materials Catherine's been pulling out of the house to deal with. There's some nice wood in that lot, and we've got heaps of scraps left over from making the level 2 panels that I'd like to tidy up into one panel. So we're going to treat these guys a bit differently. So yeah, I'll show you how we're going to do that and try to speed up the process of turning them from this into these. We've got an idea about that, so give that a bash. But first up, in order to process these, we need to run them through the table saw. To do that safely, we're going to build one of these. So that's the main priority for the week, but order of operations will unfold as it does. Our mailbox blew off in the wind the other day. I've got plans to make a new one, but for now, quick repair will do the job. We can use up some of the material Catherine's ripped out of the house. I've got some nice ply that's pressure treated, so that'll work well. So with these stacks, the intention is to get them into the jig as quickly and easily as possible. So I'm not going to worry too much about planing them flat. I'm going to run them through the table saw to get the edges fairly good and then trim the ends so they'll butt up fairly nicely. Other than that, just sort them into general close enough thickness piles and then bung them together. And once it's dry, then run it through the planer. That way I think rather than running lots of little bits through, I think it might be a bit quicker, a little bit easier. So let's try that. You can see how rough that is. Very different from the panels I normally make, and these ones are quite a lot thicker than these ones. But quick and dirty, we have a panel. Get it in clamps and move on. Obviously the go with this is just to get it in clamps as quickly as possible. We'll deal with the unevenness when it comes to planing time. But instead of having to plane 30 little boards, I only have to plane this one big board. That's where hopefully the efficiency will come in. Time to start work on the Infeed table. First job, these guys need to go through the planer, make them a bit nicer to work with. So I'll give them a couple of licks and then it'll be over to the table saw to slice them down to size. They're not perfect boards by any shape of the imagination, but they are smooth and flat. Ready for the next step. So the go here is we're just going to clean up the edges of these two boards, and then in my pocket I have a list of cutting, and I'm just going to rip some strips. Got some 66s, some 105s. Yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm not going to have enough material in these two bits, I don't think, but I have plenty of bits and bobs around the place that I can stitch it together. So I need 2 long 66s, which I want to make out of this stuff. So that's the main thing. Got my 2 long pieces, they're 1838 by 66. And I've got this, which is, I've got this piece here, which is the actual Infeed table, and it is 305 by 1082. So yeah, these guys sit up like that, and this distance is 105, and that's only about 70 mil. So I need a 105 mil wide piece. Not sure where I'm going to get that from just yet. Up bright and early this morning, which is nice. I love a sunrise. On the agenda for today, I'll get that panel out of clamps. One of the pallets I picked up during the week was the kind of old school. I call them Aussie style pallets with the long thick stretches. And I pulled that apart with the pallet breaker. So first up I need to get rid of the nails. Closer inspection, these guys are too wet to work with. I'll find a place for them here and use something else. Next thing I want to do is replace these feet down here. So I'm going to make a panel that runs along this wall, angled back towards the wall. Doesn't take up a lot of space, but I can store a lot of material. So let's chop up some blocks on an angle, and I can use some of those wet boards that I just released from the pallet nails, and that'll be a nice quick win. Pleased with that. I've got 2 slabs, 2 of the mega slabs stacked up nice and secure. They're off the ground, they won't get wet feet. And the boards that I denailed this morning have got a space to dry, so I can turn them into panels tomorrow. Very happy. Little shelf. All right, what's next? Now that there panel is rough as guts. Now I need two fairly long 105mm wide strips, and I don't have it in the scrap. I can get one out of the guy up the far end, but to get the other one I've stitched together another panel from scraps. It's not full length but fit for purpose, so I'll just whack that together now off camera and it'll be ready to salvo. That's starting to come together. I'm going to leave the Infeed project where it is for now. I just need to get this guy out of clamps, and it'd be better to work on it tomorrow just for the other top piece, because these pieces need to join onto the end, and without the top piece that'll be a bit awkward. So I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Day 3 on the agenda today. Primarily I want to get, this is the thin panel I made yesterday for finishing the top of the infeed table. So get that cleaned up in the planer. I've got another chunky kind of panel in the clamps, get that out. Also tidy up the one we made on day 1. Finish the third one so I can end up sandwiching the 3 together to make a level 3 pallet blank, and that'll finish the process of turning the 3 pallets I got during the week into one nice chunky slab. And then, yeah, main focus, get this infeed table done, and then we can start processing those pallet blanks into actual stuff. How cool it would be to make actual stuff. I just threw the last of the 3 pallets into this panel. And it's starting to feel sustainable now. I reckon all up from the stack of wood on the table to this probably took me 30 minutes. Whoops. Lovely. Coming together now. We'll just put these little guys in to keep the spacing right and reinforce it a bit. And this pocket on the end will hold the foot. So yeah, let's go about cutting a hole in the base for the foot and making the foot, I guess. That's come up very nicely, I think. Even fits. adjustable leg to take care of my wonky floor. And look at it, just making that easy. Does it actually work? You'll have to come back next week and have a look. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, consider a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next week.